is my health in danger because I went ahead and do this? Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jane. Honestly, I think this is going to be a very controversial vlog. If not for some people, definitely for YouTube. So I'm going to talk in as much code as I possibly can. If you've been following me for a while, you know I'm basically a world citizen. I grew up Caribbean. I lived in the States for 10 years. And now I live in Europe, have traveled to over 30 countries. So I know a lot of people. I have a lot of contacts all over the world. So what I've been noticing, and I've been doing some research on it, and I don't really care what anybody says. Even though I am a scientist, even though I believe in science, I know that it's very difficult where science is concerned for them to go against the grain, for them to admit that they were wrong. I'm telling you from the inside how I know it is in science. It takes a long time for them to admit they were wrong. They want to do reports, they want to do studies. This is not what this is about. This is about what you see with your own eyes, what you see is going on. Doing some research myself, I see people are starting to admit this. So let me give you some backstory because to me this was very strange. I have been noticing a lot of messages coming onto my social media and just getting messages from friends that a lot of people, young people, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, I consider that young people still in the prime of their lives, have just been dropping dead like flies. Nobody could explain it. All of a sudden, weren't feeling well. The doctors didn't know what was going on with them, and bam, they're gone. Lots of young people. And I'm going to tell you why I think this is strange, because in my studies, I also study statistics. Two of the main islands that I grew up on, which is St. Martin and St. Eustatius. St. Martin has approximately 38,000 people, and St. Eustatius has 3,000 people. The statistics of death and at any given time is you might get deaths every few months. The death rate now is so incredibly high, and the strange part is that they are unexplained deaths. You know, these people were not sick. They just all of a sudden weren't feeling well, and the doctors couldn't explain what was going on, and bam, they're gone. Young people. You know, these are my people. I jumped on the internet and started doing my research, and what I came up with is mind-boggling, guys. I made a few notes. We all know that a lot of people died in 2020, 2021 from the demic. And estimates are about 6.8 million people worldwide. But through vaccinations and weaker mutations, the threat has been stifled. Even the WHO came and said the pandemic is over. But still, in 2022 and 2023, we have a lot of excess deaths, unexplained excess deaths. They call it excess mortality. So this article says, even though the demic has been stifled through mutations and vaccinations, there's a lot of excess mortality in Europe, and it has sharply increased in recent months. What exactly is excess mortality? Excess mortality is the number of deaths that occur above and beyond what would be expected in a given time period. It is measured by comparing the number of deaths during a certain time period, such as a year, to the average number of deaths during that same period in previous years. As you can see here in this screenshot, the excess deaths in 2022 is among the worst in 50 years. More than 650,000 deaths, that's more than 500,000 deaths, were registered in the UK. And this represents one of the largest excess deaths levels outside of the demic. And in Europe, I found out doing research, and this is from a reputable media channel in Europe, that we in Europe have excess deaths of close to 500,000 in 2022 and 2023. That's outside of the pandemic, after all the vaccinations, after the WHO has said that the pandemic is finished. We have almost 500,000 excess deaths in Europe. I didn't check the numbers in America, but I'm sure they have also excess mortality rates. And in general, the excess deaths in Europe are up 39%, guys. 39%. This is really high when you take into account all other medias that are coming in, that athletes are falling down dead on the field, no explanation. When you take into account that you know somebody that has had a strange death, or somebody that knows somebody that has had a strange death, and young people are just falling down dead. I know right now there's a young guy, strong black man, that is struggling with his health. They don't know what's wrong with him. A young lady a few months ago just died. She just got sick all of a sudden and died. I say all that to say this, that in Europe, in the Netherlands where I live, we felt back then in 2020, the end of 2020, when these jabs came out, we felt very pressured. Very pressured. We were threatened with our jobs. We were threatened not that we were not going to be able to travel, not be able to go on vacations. We were absolutely shut out of going out to eat in restaurants. If you didn't have your jab, you could not go out to dinner, to lunch, you could not enter a restaurant. It was a pressure on people to either take the jab or be closed off from society. So I must say, I don't know if I felt that, yeah, I felt that pressure indeed, but also because I believed in the science, that me and my family went ahead and took that jab. I'm glad I didn't do any boosters. My husband did. But I want to say, I am in fear for my life. And I don't care how this sounds. I mean it with all of my heart. I am in fear for my life. I have not been feeling good recently. And the last year, I would say from the end of 2021, the whole of 2022, my husband also has not been feeling good. He also went and get the boosters, and he has been experiencing some weird things. Like he just all of a sudden don't feel well. He's in bed sweating. He has shivers, like when you have a bad fever and your body can't regulate its temperature, you have these shivers. You could literally see him shaking and just sick, not feeling well. And these last few days, I know I haven't been putting up vlogs, but I have not been feeling well at all. And all of this information, all of these messages that come from all of my friends all over the world make me worry. Is my health in danger because I went ahead and do this? My heart doesn't feel healthy. I don't feel healthy. I do not feel like myself. I do not care what they say in the media. I do not care what they say in the research community. I know that they will always step away from their responsibility because this was such a big event worldwide. Will they ever step up and say we screwed up? I don't know. But I'm putting out this vlog to tell you guys, I am in fear for my life. I am in fear for my health. And I always say the biggest mistake I ever made in my life was ever to start smoking, which after 27 years I stopped 11 years ago. But this honestly is the second biggest mistake I ever made, that I knew better. I felt the intuition in my soul that I shouldn't do this, but I felt pressured to see my grandchildren, to travel, to see my mom, which ultimately it's our own responsibility to say yes and no. Here we are. Here we are today, and you can do a quick Google and look it up. People are falling down like flies for no particular reason, unexplainable deaths. Famous people, actors, actresses, people people that know somebody. We all know these stories. It's happening. Whether they want to do research, whether they want to accept it, whether they want to accept responsibility, whether they want to talk about it, whether they want to come clean, something is not right. Something is going on. Yeah, I'm saying it. I do not feel okay. I do not feel like Jane on most days. I do not feel healthy like I felt in 2019 and before. So hit me up, guys. Let me know any stories that you've heard. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you know somebody that is gone, unexplainable. Let's talk about this, whether they want us to talk about it or not. Love you guys. Cheers, and I'll see you again in my next vlog.